We're Foodscaping Utah, and in this video we're going to show you how we build a combo tomato trellis and low tunnel. In this bed we're growing tomatoes now, and we got an early start with them with this low tunnel. It's late May now, they're already big. We got them in April. And if you're curious on the timing of our tomatoes, we're working on another video called How Early Can I Plant Tomatoes? So you can look for that. But in this video we're going to show you how we build this trellis and then also the low tunnel. And one thing about this design that we're excited about is the crossbar, the top of the trellis, will also serve as a ridge for our low tunnel, so that when we season extend into the winter and it snows, we'll still be able to come and harvest without the roof caving in on our low tunnel. So we're going to do a quick rundown of the supplies real quick. Here we have a 1/2-inch rebar. That we got the ones that are pre-cut to 2 feet, so 1/2-inch rebar, 2 foot. This is a 1/2-inch conduit, PVC, and then basically this is just going to build the hoops, which is one way you could do a real quick and easy frame for a hoop house. But we also have been using this PVC as a trellis for tomatoes in years past, so I thought maybe we could combine them. So this is 1-inch PVC pipe, and then obviously the fittings to go with it. So the idea is that this will provide a ridge for the low tunnel, and then when the tomatoes get taller, we can raise that up with another PVC pipe attached to these T-posts. So these are just 5-foot T-posts, and we have them pretty far down in the ground so that the low tunnel is not too tall. So we're going to see how it goes. It's going to be kind of an experiment to see if it's worth it to do this way, but we're going to get an early start on our tomatoes with this low tunnel. Right now it's mid-March. We started those right at the very beginning of March, but we thought it would be good to build a tunnel now because we're going to cover it with plastic and start warming up the soil, because the tomatoes don't want to go into cold soil. So we're going to see how it goes. Hey, okay, so it's, what is it, May 25th? May 25th, Memorial Day, and we still have this low tunnel on, and we would have wanted to trellis this up a week ago or 2 weeks ago, but we had some really cold weather, which is rare for us in late May, but we had a couple nights where it dipped down into the 30s. So the beauty of this design is that allowed us to leave this on, and we covered everything back up. So the plants have really been loving it. I don't think we have any damage on it from the cold on the tomatoes, and they're getting really big. But what I say, like, we really would have liked to trellis it earlier because the plants really could use the support. They've already got a few little tomatoes starting, and they've been in the ground now for, what, four to 6 weeks, depending on when we planted which ones. So now we definitely want to convert to the trellis. We've got, this year we're going to try out these tomato roller hooks. We got a 25 pack of them. They're about $1.25 each. We got them from Johnny's Selected Seats. So the cool thing about these, when you're trellising tomatoes, it's nice to have twine or something that's UV treated. So I think these will last a really long time. So I think that way, that's what we were thinking with the investment. You could just use regular twine or some sort of string, but we find that this breaks down even sometimes by the end of the season. So if you're going to do this, you can double it up. That's a tip we learned from Sheridan Hansen with USU Extension. But what you do is you double it up like that, and then you get a loop, and then you just pull through, and then that's your support, and then you would run it down and tie it in. So for our trellis though, we're going to use these roller hooks, and these are designed for greenhouse production, but I think they're going to work pretty nice for us, especially because they'll be reusable and we get them a long time. So you usually, in the front yard, we have wire, and you just can hang it on the wire, and then it's nice because you can slide it each way. But for this, since it's PVC, we're gonna use this little bit of wire to tie it on to the PVC. So I'm gonna double loop it. See if we can get that on there. Just to have a little extra strength, because this is pretty thin wire. Let's see if we can get through there. Got that on like that. And we're gonna twist here. And that should be pretty strong. And we'll cut that off. So one thing that it actually took us a while to figure out on these tomato hooks is that they're in there pretty tight. You just have to pull this really hard to get it to release. Let me show you on another one real quick. So I'll show you how we had to pull that out on another one here. Like, it's in here really tight. And at first I thought, geez, how are we gonna get that out? And I was pulling and pulling, but you just really gotta pull hard and then it'll start going. And the clip, the cool things about it is it just has a stopper right there, and then you squeeze like this and then it'll unroll like that. Okay, so we're gonna, instead of using the regular twine, we're gonna use this. We're also gonna use it for a couple cucumbers we have here. Okay, so we got all of our roller hooks hung, and now what we're gonna do is take these 1-inch Schedule 40 PVC, and we're gonna use that to trellis this up, and then we'll attach these to the T-posts. So this is cut to about the length that we like. It's about as high as I can reach. It's probably about 7 feet, something like that. But like I said earlier in the video, this is a trellis that we had before. But the nice thing is, since this trellis, we can use this here by attaching it directly to the T-post when they're low like this. It forms a nice ridge for the low tunnel. So what we did to make sure that this would stay on the T-post, I'll show you that before we make it into a trellis, is we got, these are 1 1/4 inch couplings. Otherwise, you can see the 1 inch doesn't quite go on the T-post. So that goes there, that goes in, that holds it, and it doesn't have to be, you know, glued or anything like that. But the idea then, it's gonna take both of us. Holly's behind the camera, she's gonna help me put it up in a minute, but what we'll do is stretch this up like this and then put the PVC in so that it's trellised up, and then we'll wrap some wire. I'll show you wrapping wire around the T-post in a second. Okay. So we got the 3 of the 5 posts in, and you can see we got the trellis going up. It's looking good. I think it's going to work great. We'll show you here real quick how we attach these PVC to the, what are these things called? T-posts. The PVC uprights to the T-post. Let me see. You could just use pliers, or, you know, this wire is probably thicker than we needed, but this is what I had. So this is what we're gonna use. But we just use wire to attach this to the T-post. And I just like to pull it tight like that. And then we'll twist it around. And I'll cut it off. And then, okay, so I grab the pliers, and then we're just gonna twist this to tighten it up. So that got really tight on there. Okay, so now I'll do that with the rest of those later. So each upright with the T-post has one wire on the top up here and one on the bottom. So like I was saying earlier, it would have been nice to get this trellis up a week or 2 ago, but with that weather, we left the low tunnel on longer. So these plants are pretty big, but we can make this work. We're just gonna attach this wire, and the way I like to do it is I already have drip irrigation in here, and these are the stakes for the drip irrigation. I can put those in and just tie the string to the wire, or excuse me, around the stake like that, right? And then we'll tie that in. Take my gloves off. And then of course there's a bunch of different ways to trellis tomatoes up a string. What we like to do is, you don't have to have the string really tight. You can. One way to do it would be to just wrap the tomato, like weave it around the string. Or if you have them, these are fairly inexpensive. It's a tomato clip. You can just take your tomato, and it's got this little locking thing on here that holds it onto the string. You can put it on, put the string right in there, and then clip it like that. And these are reusable. We've got some of those that we've used for a few years. So as the tomato grows, we're pruning out the suckers that are in the axles. You can see where I pruned one out right here, took it out. Okay, here's one right here. Take that off. And we're gonna do a single stem, so it goes all the way up to the top. Okay, so our trellis is up. Our first tomato is trellised. We'll keep it going up the line. And now, of course, we can take these out. This is just for our low tunnel. I mean, we could leave these in if we want, or we could take them out. The nice thing about this design, at least we're gonna see how it goes. The reason we like this idea for the moment, at least, is we can do a low tunnel and a trellis in the same space with some of the same equipment, because the top of this trellis is also the ridge of our low tunnel. And in some places you might not need that, but we want to use this low tunnel in the winter here too for leafy greens. And when you get a snow, it's really nice to have that ridge so that the top of your low tunnel doesn't cave in, and you can still get some lettuce or some spinach. So I think that about wraps it up. Thanks for watching Foodscaping Utah, and grow your own.